Good evening everyone, Ads here from Unity Trading Group. Welcome to your Thursday night update. Before I start, hit that like button, tap the subscribe button if you can, and of course tick the little bell to stay updated on all of our content that's coming up soon. Big GT, Big Gravy Train is one of them, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully next week we'll have our first bits of content coming out and you guys can test it all for yourselves. But anyway, one thing that I do want to announce. So myself and Ty will be running a webinar. We're not sure on the topic currently, but we will be doing it. So it'll be a sign up thing that you'll need to do on our website. It will be running for free, so we won't be charging any money for your seat, for you to reserve your seat on the webinar. So stay tuned for that as well. We'll probably be covering some educational material within the webinar. It'll be hosted on Zoom. It will be recorded for future use, of course, but we will be taking entries on our website, www.unitytradinggroup.com, and hopefully we cover some topics that you guys want to see. Of course, we'll be taking some form of requests as well, I guess, for things that you'd like to see more of. It could be supply and demand, it could be trend-based fibs, it could be Fibonacci in general. So if you want to see us explain some stuff about BTC or even about any sort of trading in general, shoot us a message on Discord. Make sure you tag us, and we'll hopefully make that as part of our webinar. So hopefully you can all be there. So just stay tuned on, obviously, the YouTube. And of course, if you're not part of the Discord, you can find the link down below and in the banner that's just below this video. Anyway, moving on. BTC, where are we at? Where have we gone? Yesterday, I had a good discussion with you all, and a fair few people watched it. We got a few new subscribers as well. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to UTG. You can find all of our links down below, of course. But yesterday, I really needed to have that discussion with you all. The general gist of yesterday's chat was really stop shorting the top. Stop trying to pick the top, should I say. Stop trying to jump into a short when you don't have confirmation that we are reversing. There's a whole bunch of things that I spoke about yesterday. I do encourage you to go back and watch yesterday's update. It's really eye-opening because a lot of people do this, and it's extremely damaging, and it can be damaging. So you need to do your TA, wait for some form of confirmation on your direction that you want to short or you want to long or whatever, and then make your judgment accordingly. So anyway, BTC. Yesterday we spoke about the eventuality of 52,000 for BTC. That has come to fruition. We are using our trend-based Fibonacci extension on the left-hand side here in the Fibonacci sub-menu there on TradingView. If you haven't used the trend-based Fib extension or you don't know how to use it, you can find a link in our YouTube channel about the trend-based Fibs. It's not far back that we did discuss that, so make sure you check that out, because knowing how to use trend-based Fibs pays dividends in itself. So what we did, we're using price action from back here, using price action from the 27th of January up to the 29th of Jan, and then back down to the 1st of Feb. And we're sitting, 18th of February now, 2 weeks later, and these levels are still being respected. But they're not being respected loosely. They're being respected to the dollar. So you just need to make this part of your arsenal. If you don't know how to use it, learn how to use it. Our video will teach you how to use it, because it's very, very easy. And then you've got a plethora of information to go off in terms of, have we broken through our previous level? Yes, we have. What's the next level? 52K. We hit that with absolute precision, perfection there on the 200% trend-based Fibs. If I double click my Fibs, you can see the levels that I'm using. If you want to copy these, you can pause the video now and you can copy these in, and you'll get the same results that we are. But the 200% is very easy to look at. Just the number 2 there on our trend-based Fibs, and that was 52,163. and that was respected pretty much to the dollar. Of course, we have closed below it now. It's going to be an interesting play the next couple of days for BTC. Are we going to explode to the next level at 54, or are we going to cool off back to 50? It really suggests to me, even if we scroll down to the 1 hour time frame, it's really suggesting to me that a couple of things we need to look at. We'll stick to the 1 hour for this current move. So we've got some liquidity to the left-hand side, which we've tested once before, which is this green candle just to the left here. And of course, we do have our level of support, our psychological support level, which is 50,000, which is the previous high. We've got a lot of liquidity and a lot of resistance turned support flip at that point there. So if we're not going to hold this area here, which is about 51, I'd be looking for the 50K eventuality to really be retested before a movement further up. Of course, we don't have to get there. It is crypto. Pullbacks are necessary for BTC. They're necessary, but they're not exactly expected. So if we do have a relentless run as we are now, we're in a bull market. FOMO kicks in fairly easily, and then we push to the next level with a bit of force, and that happens very, very easily, just like I said. So if we don't get to this point, or if we don't get to this point, and we continue to move up, then so be it. That's just BTC. That's the nature of this market at the moment. But looking at our technical analysis on this time frame in particular, I'll be looking at the liquidity to the left at about 51,200, and then of course I'll be looking at that 50K mark at 1.78, that Fibonacci extension, for a further pullback and a retest to really see if we're going to get another movement towards our 52 and of course beyond our 52 to 54. But currently I'd be looking at this level here. If we're looking at a lower time frame, parallel channel tool is what I use, and it's a very, very narrow, weak level of demand that we're bouncing off currently. So that's the first level to go off. Ethereum USD in a uptrend as well. We'll go back to the 4 hour time frame to really analyze this. So we've been moving to the upside. The 4 hour time frame does have a fair bit of room on our indicators to move further to the upside. I haven't used the trend-based fibs specifically on ETH tonight, but I'm using our normal Fibonacci, which is swing low to swing high to get the pullback. And of course, the pullback did grant us that 38.50 bounce. So if you're looking for pullbacks on bull markets, 38 and 50 is really the key levels, and even 61 are all going to be the key levels to really look for. We just missed out on the 61, but we got a hit on the 38 and the 50 for a movement back to the upside. So expecting movements to the upside due to it being a bull market. Excuse me, talking a little bit too fast for my own good. But if we are to come up and retest any level, I'd be looking at the negative 27, which is 1980 for Ethereum. I know I've been saying that a few days in a row now, but we do have the momentum, and of course we do have the room for the indicators to get there or even get close to there, in my opinion. ADA USDT is another one that we look at. So personally, I did buy this off the 70 level of demand, as we did have a fairly decent retrace a couple of days ago, especially on BTC, and of course some of the major altcoins did that. So I got the hit on the 70, and looking like we are sitting pretty back up to the 93 level of supply there. So very easy pickings for ADA, basically drawing in our most relevant level of demand and setting orders alongside our Fibonacci levels as well. Very straightforward movements on ADA, and of course the most relevant level of supply was above us at 93, so that's where we're sitting at now. Currently, we're going to be making a decision, or at a decision point at the moment for ADA. Are we going to move up and retest our 98 and of course break through that for a movement to $1.09, or are we going to fall over and finish off ADA for this run? Is this going to be a double top scenario? So that remains to be seen. Like I said, we usually do wait for some confirmation in these instances, and it's always good to wait for confirmation in these instances. I wouldn't be recommending throwing in a short at this point, because we are in a bull market and we are still bullish, So if I bring up trend breaker, we are slightly bullish. If I bring up gravy train, of course, it hasn't changed. So gravy train being our in development indicator. Of course, we reference this pretty much every night now, but we're still bullish. It hasn't changed yet. If we come down and we create price action down into the cloud, you need to wait for the close to really give you a proper indication on our direction. So we closed above the cloud. So this would have gone gray immediately as the candle was in play. But as the 4-hour candle closed, we closed above the cloud and of course moved up accordingly. So it was still in a macro bullish momentum, and that's what we saw with ADA. Currently we're waiting on this level of supply to either break or be held for a double top, and then we'll make our decision on ADA based on that. Looking at another one, I want to look at BNB USDT. It's been on an absolute freaking tear, and it's been doing quite well. I'm full disclosure, I do have a bag of BNB at the moment. I did buy in this liquidity area here. I did have my first sell set at the 3, so the 188 mark, so that's not too bad in my opinion. We are getting quite cooked at the moment, looking like we are sitting at the 85 RSI, and of course our steamroller is entering that overbought condition, and of course we've had that snapback on the CCI, but that moving a little bit more prematurely than anything else. We are quite parabolic for BNB, so if you have BNB, you don't go broken profit, put it that way. It would be a decent idea to take some profit along the way just to protect yourself from markets falling quite quickly, as if we do get movements this hard and fast, of course they can move the opposite direction in the same fashion. So it's always a good strategy to take profit along the way. I always personally break up my profit. So of course, taking the first bag here, if we continue to move up, I'll take small snippets along the way. Of course, if we start to move down with some momentum, you'll hit my stop loss, my trailing stop. And of course, we will be out of the market with as much profit as possible. Moving on, LTC USD. LTC USD making a higher high today, moving up towards or past our 231 level. The next level, of course, I'd be looking at is the 250 mark. Nice psychological round number. But I'll be looking currently at the 1 hour to really determine where our next movements are going to be for LTC. Currently, we've retested the previous high, which is this liquidity area to the left, and we are seeing a reaction off that, based off that now. But if I'm to be a little bit more realistic, I'd draw the fibs on the 1 hour, and of course I'd be looking towards our 38, 50, 61 areas for LTC, pending some break and closes above this 231 area that we've got on LTC. Just zooming in a little bit, keeping our options a little bit more open. Of course, the 1 hour is a decent level to take positions on, and then you can look at the macro scale, the overall side of things to really gauge the overall trend, and then your overall market targets or your targets for those individual trades. However, I'm personally waiting for a LTC to see if we get any more of a substantial pullback, or even be held a little bit further on our trend line that was formed back here on the 8th of February. So if we put in the line chart, you can see that line chart faring nicely with our trend line as well. I tend to use trend lines with a line chart because they tend to be a little bit more respected that way. So if you see the line chart give you these sort of respected candles, of course, that's what I would prefer to base it on. And of course, if we are to come down and retest this trend line, you'll probably find it's one of those 1 hour levels of Fibonacci that I just removed off the chart before. So it's always good to zoom in a little bit to see if we can get a further hit on that price action. XRP USD is also one that we look at, not doing too much since our bounce off the 61.8, but you'll probably find a trend where we've gone from swing low to swing high, and of course come back 38, 50, 61, being very reliable levels that we usually buy off or usually expect some candles to be respected on, I guess, to come back and retest. And of course, we are ranging just above the 38 currently. If we do close this above the 38 with some confidence, I'd be looking towards that 58 mark. Just a little bit towards our left liquidity there that we see for XRP. And the last one I'll have a look at this evening is the Forex market. Of course, the Forex market being a regulated market, not financial advice at all, just ideas and opinions of us at UTG. But we've been following the DXY pretty much for the last few months every time we do a video, and it has been quite predictable pretty much every time we do a video because we have had that 61 level be respected. We just got front run off that level. We did break through that level of demand, but I'll continue to use the fibs. 61.8, we are closed above the 50, closed below the 50, and of course we are closing, or hopefully going to close below the 38.2, and we can get a run down towards the 23.6, which is 90.56 for the DXY. That really concludes our update for this evening. Thank you all for joining me. To all the new faces out there, welcome to UTG. You can find all of our links down in the description. You can find unitytradinggroup.com. You can find our indicator access. You can find the future webinar sign up link that we'll announce in the Discord. Of course, you'll find the Discord link down below as well. But good to have you all, whether you've been with us for a long time or not that long. Thank you all for watching. I'm Ads from UTG. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.